Alright, welcome back everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Now, I don't have anything to show you today. Recently, this channel has become a kind of game of show and tell, where I show you guys something that happened on the internet, and I proceed to talk about it. But this time, I really don't need to show you anything at all, because you've probably experienced this sometime in your life, just being frustrated with the education system. Now listen up, I absolutely despise school and college and how the whole thing works. It frustrates me beyond anything, just the fact that it is about the most unproductive thing you can possibly do, and you're pretty much forced to do it for like 20 years straight, and moreover, like, you have to pay for it, go in debt for it. It's kind of like paying someone to steal your time, kick you in the face, bathe you in a bucket of depression, and then claim that it's all for your good, right? Because at the end of it, oh, you'll get a job, for sure, dude. You'll pay the money back in another 20 years when half your life is over. Alright, listen, I've got a lot of built-up rage in me for this topic. The fact that I'm not foaming at the mouth while talking is an achievement by itself, but I'll probably make like multiple videos about it. But for the purposes of this video, I'll try to focus on one aspect if I can, that being exams. So a few days ago, I had a random thought in my head, and I just couldn't understand why this wasn't a thing. So I thought every exam should be open book, right? And by every, obviously, I don't mean all and all, like without any exceptions whatsoever at all. Like, dude, this exam really needs memory and it's super important and it should be closed book. Yeah, okay, buddy, shut your mouth. I get it. I'm talking about most exams. It's just a flashy title. You get the point. So you gotta ask yourself, right? Why is it that we have the textbook with us for 6 months? Every single day we go through notes, chapters, solving questions, and we reread the material that is readily available to us the entirety of the year, but suddenly, right, like a miracle, on exam day, the textbook just disappears for that 1 or 2 hours. It uses the little cloak from Harry Potter and just goes bye-bye, you know? And for those 1 or 2 hours, you cannot touch the textbook, and you have to recall everything you learned in the entire year. You have to have it memorized. You have to waste space in your damn brain trying to memorize this stuff that's readily available to you, that you can look up at any time in the real world. Why do I need to know what year, what famous battle happened when I can Google it in literally seconds? I feel like, you know, some moron, right, like 100 years ago, or maybe more, I don't know the exact time frame, but some moron someday in some age decided on the dumbest system of all time, and everybody just agreed, and he doomed us for all of eternity to toil and suffer and waste a majority of our days. You want to know a story? So I went from being a straight A student to a guy who failed every single class and dropped out of university, alright? I don't do YouTube full-time because, you know, I've got certain problems. Legal problems, maybe money, but whatever, that's complicated. And other problems as well, which just doesn't allow me to do it full-time. But I just told you that info because this isn't someone complaining who's too lazy to study, right? I know how to work harder than every single person around me. I've done it before. And a while back, it was like completely unthinkable to me that anyone would fail. In my head, I was just like, what? How can you possibly fail? All you have to do is show up to class, even half the time, and do absolutely minimal work, and you won't fail, right? In my head, as like a straight A student, and not even like straight A, I'm talking, we didn't have A's and B's, we had like 99.5%, alright? That was my average across all subjects. I was a maniac. In fact, I don't think I had consciousness, to be honest. I was like this zombie, and then one fine day, I started YouTube, and everything changed, like the Fire Nation attacked, and suddenly I had like so much more consciousness. I spent like the hours I used to spend studying were so painful to do now. Like, all I could think about was making videos. When I found my passion, right, it was just like, oh my god, everything became painful. Every moment I couldn't spend making videos. I couldn't focus at all on studies. It legit pained me to sit there in class when I could have used that time to be making a video. And it still does, alright? A lot. And I don't think I'll ever get over it. That's why I've been trying to escape life a lot and, you know, my own problems. I'll talk about them someday. But yeah, for now, I thought it was impossible to fail, right? And then once you snap out of this zombie mode, right, where, you know, you're in this routine of just constantly going through the day and it becomes easy. but once you snap out of this routine and you find something else, it becomes extremely easy to fail when you lose that sense of purpose. The reason a lot of people think it's so hard and so out of the blue to fail is because to them, right, it's like, what else do you have to do? Like, study and, maybe play a bit, but like your value is judged based on your grades and stuff, right? Studying will make your parents happy, it'll make you look good in front of your friends, it'll make you feel good about yourself, maybe, and your teachers, and supposedly it'll get you a good job. And maybe all of this is true to an extent, and maybe it is the path for a lot of people, but to some people, like, I can comprehend it now. Like, I feel so sad for thinking that before. Alright, I'm sorry for the tangent, I kind of got into a rant. I was supposed to be talking about exams. So yeah, exams, they make it so unbelievably stressful, right? They put up like the dumbest rules in place to make sure you have the high chance of messing up, Oh, write your stuff perfectly, shade this box only, or you'll lose all your marks. Answer the question in this specific way according to my very inefficient method to solve it. And I get it's to like help the teachers out and make everything uniform, and I do take that into consideration. Trust me when I say this, when I question the system, I've contemplated every possible way as to why the system would be like this, and there is no answer, right? I have a major flaw, right? I think about everything endlessly, and it's a huge pain. I have so many thoughts constantly, my mind is just going and going and going, and it questions everything. And because of this, like, the simplest tasks that everyone can do so incredibly easily become monumental for me, and it's so tiring, honestly. I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but yeah, man. And I just gotta say, if I didn't have this escape, like, to talk to you guys every single day, and like, this is the one good thing in my life, being YouTube, I legit would have lost it, to be honest. I would go insane, like one of those philosophers or something, except not even smart. And I honestly probably would have ended it all. So yeah, I can't thank you guys enough for effectively saving my life, I'm just saying, right? Like, from my perspective, it's such a flawed system, and I don't know why it's there. Like, I should be able to open the textbook anytime I want and Google anything I want. What restrains you in the exam, right, is the time limit, because in the real world, you should have access to everything, but you still have deadlines, right? You have to accomplish work by a certain time and in a certain time frame, and that's okay. Exams in that sense at least make sense. But just making people memorize all that stuff is so stupid and pissing off, and rewards people with a good memory instead of people who understood the material. When, like, when I'm sitting there in the exam and I can't recall something, I'm just like, the bag is right there. My textbook is right there. Why can't I look at it? It's so incredibly frustrating. And what really pisses me off about this is that when you question the system or how things are in place, people just assume that either A, like, oh, you don't want to work hard, right? Or B, oh, you're salty that you got bad grades. Or C, oh, you're trying to act superior because you got good grades. But no, it's none of them. I just have a functioning brain, and the reason you don't have it right now is because you've been taught your entire life to just follow instructions like a pathetic freaking sheep, alright? With no thought for yourself, that the moment anyone tries to question anything about your daily routine and break your little fantasy that you've created and justified, the fact that you've wasted so much time, you start to lose it and defend it. It's a sad reality, alright? You have to accept it instead of just calling people insane or whatever. Now, moving on to homework and assignments, right? So a trend I've noticed is repetitive homework that accomplishes nothing. Like, math teachers give you a bunch of questions, and I get it, like, oh, you need to be good at solving this, so when it comes in the exam, you can get it. But 10 on the same topic, alright. 30, maybe calm down there. Like, so, like, I've just noticed, like, even in, like, science or history or all these other different subjects, there's so many copy-paste assignments where, essentially, you just have to write out half the textbook in the answer sheet. Hello? Why? Can you please explain what's the point of copy-pasting this info? Just imagine having a class of students actually interested and excited to learn the material. That would be so incredibly insane in today's standards, but so completely obvious when you think about it. That's how it should be. And there's a lot of people out there who don't understand the concept of open book exams, like, oh, if the answers are right there, I can just copy it, so the test is useless. Except, no, it's actually harder better than a closed book test because they actually test you on what you've learned instead of what you've just memorized and regurgitated on the paper. You know, the education system is so incredibly backwards because we learn things from basic to complex when that's not how it's supposed to work. Because, like, why are you learning calculus, like, when you don't even know what it's applied for in the real world? First, you need to start with the real world application and build downwards. Like, if you see a car, right? You want to know, like, oh, how does this work? Then you need to extract one of the parts and then explain to kids what this works, what are principles that are related to this. But listen up, alright? I don't want to leave you guys with, like, a frustrating conclusion that we're all just doomed to suffer in a terrible system and we have no way out of it. I mean, I think everybody has that depressing attitude, and it is kind of true, and it is completely justified to have it, but I'm just letting you know, right? There's always going to be a way to, like, make the most of what situation you're in and what you've got to work with. With whatever time you have, you can change things, right? You can do the learning you actually want to do. It's really hard to look for solutions in life when everyone is so hell-bent on following everyone else and not even questioning anything. And when you try to look another way, everyone wants to keep you on this terrible conveyor belt of just constant misery. And trust me, alright? The power you have is incredible. Like even if you're wasting 90% of your day, you feel like, oh, I'm spending all this time in school, it's just terrible, I'm not learning anything. You can make your life so incredible in the remaining 10%. You might be able to escape the 90%, you might be able to make good in the 90%, and you might even enjoy it. But even if you don't, I'm telling you, there is hope, alright? I know a lot of people, this may seem like super dramatic and stuff, but I know what I went through just going through the education system, and it was so frustrating. So I'm speaking to my previous self and my current self, I guess. But yeah, try to think of it this way as well. We can't always be happy, alright? Being sad is just part of being life, and being frustrated, being tired, all these emotions actually help you, and they help you get stronger. If you were endlessly rich with no responsibilities like you probably dream of every day, life would not be how you seem, I 100% assure you. Because in your fantasy, you just see yourself happy all the time, but you know, if you're happy all the time, you will go insane, right? The only reason the emotion happiness is so chased after is because we know the feelings of sadness and everything else, and that's what makes it so special. So there needs to be a balance of both. So yeah, just stay strong, you know? This was supposed to be a rant about open book exams, but it kind of devolved into everything else. And yeah, thank you for tuning in every day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.